with the number one contender in the world for the WBA, Mr. Ramon Cardenas fighting, or Cardenas, Ramon Cardenas fighting at the T-Mobile May 4th against the guy most people think is number one pound for pound, if not top two or three, Naoya Inoue, for the super bantamweight titles. Ramon, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Just was watching some tape, and I do think the fans are in for a really good style matchup. I don't think they're
Mm.
going to be lacking for action, man. What do you think of the fight?
I mean, like you said, brother, I think it's gonna be a good fight for the fans, for everybody watching that night. I think it's gonna be a good. I think it's gonna be a good way to end the weekend of boxing, brother.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big weekend of boxing, and I seen you in some other interviews back in Texas, talking about the Aztec warrior in you taking on
Mm.
kind of the samurai culture that
Mm.
of Japan and Inoue. So how do you think these two styles match up, man? What kind of style matchup we're looking at?
I mean, I've always found it very cliche when people say, "Oh, you're gonna expect a war." I think you're just gonna expect a really good fight, from both our ends, man. Because I don't think neither one of us want to lose. I know he doesn't want to lose, and I don't want to lose, man. So it's gonna be a good fight. Like it's gonna be a fight where you're gonna see both men go out there and just try their best, do their best, and I think the fans are gonna love this type of fight.
I know, like a fighter like Nonino Donaire was able to do this with Inoue in their first fight, but is Inoue, with his power and everything, is he the kind of fighter you can really hold up with in a war? Not just you, but really anybody in this division, over 12 rounds. Meaning, if you're landing your best and he's landing his best, is that something you feel like you could hold up to for 12 rounds and beat him in that kind of fight?
I mean, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, bro, because he does. I mean, again, 29 and 0, 26 KO, right? So he must hit hard to have that many knockouts, and you must hit hard. It's just again, man, I just have to go out there and be ready for a type of fight like that, where I know it's gonna be a tough, rugged fight, and I just have to be ready for it in a way. I gotta be ready for the best in a way that basically the world has ever seen. If that makes sense.
Yeah, how do you think he's been? It looks like you, man, you're improving and peaking at the perfect time. How do you think he's been looking, right? His last few fights.
I think he's been looking good. I think he's been looking good. I think he still has the you could say juice. He still has the juice. He still has the sauce. Like he's still in a way. He's not he doesn't look old or nothing like that. He's still looking very good. So um yeah, he's been looking good, man. Again, he's defending his titles and he's undisputed for a reason. So for me, he's been looking good.
You got four stoppages in your last five wins, and then like if you look at your career on paper, fighters below the championship level, you were having some split decisions and majority
Mm.
decisions, but now against higher caliber fighters, you're getting knockouts. What do you attribute the improvement to and the power surge to?
Um, I think for me it was just my confidence, man. My confidence and just at one point in my career, man, I didn't really have a career, if that makes sense. I was just um I was fighting just to fight, and I was fighting every now and then, and then I hooked up with my manager that I have now, and he changed my life completely, brother. I told him that I'm willing to fight anybody as long as the money made sense. And the money's been making sense, and that's where like I just been fighting anybody. And for me it was just having that belief, in a sense, like having a team that believes in me, having a manager that believes in me, what I can do. And that's all it really was for me. That's what I attribute, in a sense, what I can say.
So that's interesting. So was it just the managerial situation, or was it also like a man in the mirror moment, or something in the gym technique wise too?
Nah, man, because I've always, the thing is, like, my record is very deceiving, because I don't have that many knockouts. Yes, I don't have that many knockouts in in my record, but um like I've always knocked people out. Like I've always like even in the amateurs, man, like you can look me up in the USA boxing and in 2013 they had taken off the headgear. That was a year where they took off the headgear
Right.
and I had knocked out I was the first knockout stoppage of that year and the first day and everything and so I've always knocked people out. It's just again I just kind of I attribute that really to having nothing to lose and everything to gain. So every fight I went out there and I was just like trying to knock some, like I was just trying to like hurt someone because I'm like, man, I've worked too hard to get this far and I'm not gonna let you screw it up. And that's kind of how I've been, like taking things in my career, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, the punch in particular that kind of jumps off the screen when you watch some highlights is the left hook. And
Mhm.
you know, how big a role do you think that's going to play in you winning the fight?
Um, I think a lot, I think a lot. I think it has a lot to do with it's gonna have a lot to do with the fight for sure, 100%.
When you yeah, because I know we can't get too deep into that. Yeah, but I know Natty was a southpaw, but you know, Mexican fighter, and he was able to place that left hand. Again, you're not
Mhm,
a southpaw like that, but
mhm.
I don't know. Do you look at that and you know, equip it in your brain in preparation for this fight?
Um, I personally, me, myself, and I don't because Nettie is a whole nother fighter. He's a completely different fighter than me. I'm not. We have two different skills, and I think everybody kind of expected Nettie to just go straight forward and try to rough him up and fight fire with fire, if that makes sense. And for me, it's a little different because I also have I won't say nothing bad about Eddie, but I have a different, like bag of skills, if that makes sense. I have a different bag of skills that I know that I can give in away some problems with.
When you say Neri maybe surprised them instead of just coming forward, do you mean like with the counter punching?
Yeah, yeah, because prior to that, Nettie was just like a go for it type of guy. Like I'm gonna knock you out, and I think he planted that good shot, that left hand with with some skill. He planted it for sure with some skill and was able to kind of catch him off guard.
Is it like Marquez Pacquiao kind of?
Kinda, yeah,
Yeah,
kind of like that.
gotcha. You know, is this your Tank versus Roach? You know, from pro box to pound for pound?
I mean, it could be, brother. It could be. Really, it could be. I think it's a story that's kind of writing itself again because me and Lamont both work with Pro Box. Um, me and Lamont actually have both sparred together, and so I mean, it could be, brother. Really, it could be.
I mean, you got two guys in their prime, you know, not kids, but you know, 29, 30, 31, that
Mm.
range, both with one loss, under the radar professionals who've just been grinding, and now you get this big opportunity. So,
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure, man. I think like you said, like going under the radar. Um, that's all. I think there's people who thrive off of that, and me and Lamont are two of those guys that do thrive off of going under the radar and people not expecting us to even survive. And
right.
then we come out, we pull a trick out the hat, we pull a bunny out the hat somehow. We're like, hey, how did that happen?
Well, you mentioned sparring Roach. Do you feel like you've sparred anybody that's approaching the level of athleticism Inoue has?
Um, I mean, throughout my career, man, probably I really couldn't tell you because I mean, in a way, you know, um, he's one of those guys that it's kind of hard to simulate, like to kind of try to copy. But I mean, I've been in the ring with a lot of people, so I really couldn't tell you 100% like if I've ever sparred somebody like him. But I mean, again, he's in a way for a reason. You know what I mean? He is where he's at for a reason. So I mean, yeah, that's really all I can say with that.
Do you think that'll take a minute to adjust to then, the speed and the burst in and out and everything?
Mm, yeah, of course. And to a certain extent, I think it'll be some adjusting to some adjusting for sure. It's like anything. I think it's gonna be a chess game the first couple of rounds. It's gonna be who makes the best moves the first couple of rounds that are gonna set up for the later round.
I saw you talking back in San Antonio. My guy 210 has his channel, and you were talking about not having too much respect for Inoue heading into the
Hmm.
fight. You're not in awe of him, and to quote you, you're coming to f him up. And do you
Hmm.
think do you think Inoue is using that as bulletin board material?
I didn't say that. That's one thing I didn't say. I actually got mad at Brandon for that because he tried to clickbait the video, and I didn't say that. I just for me it's just I'm not gonna I won't ever badmouth somebody because of a fight. For me it's just um I praise the guy because he is who he is, but I'm not gonna go and like I'm trying to get what you have. So I can't really necessarily go and be like, "Oh my God, like you're in a way like you're the best." Like, that night you're just like me. If that makes sense. That night you're just like me and you're human just like me. So I'm gonna try to just like you're gonna try to knock my head off, I'm gonna try to knock yours off. But
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. No, I actually got upset with him when he because that was a clickbait, and then my manager actually called me. Hey, Ramon, like this guy posted this video, and in the video you never once said that you're coming to fuck him up and this and that. Like again, like I get it what he was trying to do. He's trying to get views and stuff. But yeah, no, that was a rowdy clickbait video. The title was clickbait.
but what do you think? And I mean, it's boxing at the end of the day, so you're supposed to
Hmm.
want to come and do that, and
Hmm.
supposed to want to do that with you. It's boxing, but
Yeah.
um, is it motivation for you at all when he's already plotting his course? Cardenas, then Murtajan, and then Junto Nakatani next year. He's shaking on it with Nakatani. They'll fight next year around this time. Does What do you think of that?
I mean, everyone has their own plans, brother. That's the way I see that. Everyone has their own plans. I can tell you that, hey, in 2028, I'm gonna go to the moon, or in 2027, I'm gonna go to Venus or Mars, and everyone has plans, but um, sometimes plans don't go to like into fruition. So that's how I'm seeing it, in the sense of like, don't count your chickens before they hatch, man, because I'm not coming to like lay down. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna try to mess up your plans if that makes sense.
Why are you the guy to ruin all those plans that I'm on?
Why not? Why not? I'm going out there and I'm gonna like I said, man, I'm gonna do my best and I'm gonna go out there and I mean again, bro, why not? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it's life changing opportunity. So
Hmm.
yeah, did you and Murtajan Ahmadallah, did you guys talk about this? Like, hey, I'm first up. I got a crack at him first, or
No, no, we actually haven't even spoken about the fight or nothing like that. We just joke about other stuff, bro. Like we talk about other stuff. We don't. It's funny because we don't ever bring up the fight or nothing like that. He'll cheer me on like when I'm sparring. He'll be like, "Come on, brother," and stuff like that. But other than that, man, we don't talk about the fight. Like um, he does his thing and I do my thing. We don't. We're not plotting against in a way if that makes sense. To like he knows that this is my fight, and he'll have his eventually.
yeah, would you fight him even though he's your gym mate if you win this fight?
I mean, we already spoke about it. If they give us 2 million, we'll fight. And give us 2 million, we'll fight, and we'll go to dinner after that, and we'll have be happy. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it could happen if the money's right for sure. Why not?
Yeah, that's not pie in the sky money. That's not like I
Hmm.
want 100 million to fight. You're like 2 million and we could do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. 2 million, we both get 2 million a pop. We both go home happy, bro. He goes home to his family. I go home to mine, and both of us we could live a good life after that.
Will you guys be sparring to prepare for this fight?
No, no, he's a lefty.
Right.
So, I wouldn't necessarily this wouldn't make sense.
You guys have gone some good rounds in the gym before, though.
No, actually never. We've never sparred, we've never worked together. We've he does his thing and I do mine. We actually yeah, man, that we've never sparred, nothing.
What? Why is that? You think? Just because I mean, a lot of times guys around the same division they will spar and everything. They're around the same gym. How come you guys never do that?
I don't know. That's something that I couldn't really necessarily tell you because I really have no clue why we've never sparred. Probably just because it's never aligned. Where maybe I need a lefty and MJ is the lefty there, or he needs a righty that fights a certain way and I'm there. It's never aligned to that. It's always been where he'll be fighting a whole different opponent than me and me to him.
Well, lastly, man, thank you for your time, Ramon. But just to sum it up for the fans who will be watching May 4th and everything, man, explain how you see this fight going and why you'll be the man pulling off this upset against Naoya Inoue.
I mean, I see it being a tough fight, man. I think everyone knows that it's gonna be a tough fight. It's only even a blind man can see that's gonna be a tough fight. But I'm ready and I'm willing to go out there and lay it all on the line, man. That I've never in a sense of this is an opportunity that I've been wanting and I'm finally getting it. So now I have to take advantage of the opportunity that I'm getting, man. So I got nothing to lose and everything to gain, man. That's why they should understand that, I'm going in there and I'm gonna try my hardest to win.